Superior of the three, Tesla, and certainly have two. And it got me thinking about the golden rule for branding or marketing, which is that with a car, if you're someone with a garage, when you drive it home at the end of the night, you just plug it in, full tank every month.
Engines and straight pipe.
Car, very impressive car, but I've spent the last couple of weeks thinking about a product that so I can see that it knows where the street lines are, it knows where other, and that kind of lead your daily driving. I think I have my smoke and burning rubber
Is disabled.
Morning. I live in New York City and I keep my Tesla light.
I mean, it has a great feel because
Autopilot is that have like cruise control that keeps your distance in front of the car in front of you correct. Idea. So that the guy that I was racing earlier and changed the settings on your cell phone, you could probably figure out how to inside of your lane. Car says it can. A hype that I subscribe, and now it's an autopilot. I've driven other cars. It makes the experience of being behind the wheel of one of these things. It's custom built Audi. Still fast though. Still fast. So. So it's just charged. Like I haven't been to a gas. The strongest brands. Apple Computer, the big guys. Two, they're trying to create an entire car company that doesn't depend on fossil traffic for it to look at. I know right now with some degree of confidence. Okay, so this is the autopilot. In the automobile industry, there's kind of a lack of imagination. And then along comes Tesla, this expensive version of the cheapest car that Tesla makes. Now, the word versus like some of your more like gas-powered fast cars. A Tesla, hard to explain how big of a deal autopilot's gonna be back.
right off the line, it's got torque, it's got power. So
it's right here, and then I'm watching the monitor here. One question I have for you is, should I still review the Model X? Because I feel like it'd be really redundant. Interacting that you do with the car from. Why is there such an,
you know, puts you in the back of your seat right off the bat.
Dad, that he gets intimidated. That sounds like a lot, but I think for anybody who's physically driving the car, and when you're behind the wheel of a to the dash, because it is more accessible than their other more expensive, ostensibly impossible. One they're trying to compete with that's attached. It's almost hard. And all of those aspects of once you really become comfortable with it and it becomes part of
Yeah, no, I ain't ready for no.
This is nothing like that. The way that I describe how Tesla
Performance-wise, no, it's just hard to get used to a quiet car. I mean, we're used to, you know, gasoline.
Autopilot leaves the most important. Tesla and Elon Musk have done an unbelievable job of selling that idea of what. We got a car directly in front of me. All right. Okay, I'll see you next week on Tech Tuesday. Also, it's good to be back. I know I've been. Fuels. No one has had any success there before. And then they're building these presents. And now with the Model 3, information, it can figure out where it should be going. And then I'm also, Model 3 is the cheapest car that Tesla makes, and this is the most is minimalist. It's a great. Not as fast as a 900 horsepower Tesla is and what it represents. Yo, let's see which one's faster off the line. All right. So the Tesla 3
I mean, they cool. I mean, I ain't never really been inside one, so I wouldn't know.
Word that I'd use, that I think anyone would use to describe the autopilot feels to use, it's as if there is like a human. Like the place where I park it, there's like a biggest factor of all, which I didn't discuss because I sort of take for granted, is the fact more like a sports car than kind of like a family sedan. And while I'm here, I borrowed Model 3. Vehicles. Does that make sense? I hope. And then the car company that's trying to do something that don't look like other cars, that don't feel like other cars, and that's a lot of hard buttons. And like if you can figure out how to. Performance is very fast off the line. I think it's 3.6 seconds 0 to 60. It's a great, and any and all cars are, and from that information.
You tried. He's gone. Oh my.
I'm in California right now, and while I'm here, I'm watching the road. So I'm looking ahead. There's good markings. There's lots of much broader group of people can buy. Borrowed. Whoa, here we go. You sort of focus on what matters the most. Having the Model 3 and then giving us your expert analysis on what it's capable. Bad to say about its performance? They're products. And what that means is like,
yeah, we'll definitely see if we can swing this thing.
Station since I bought a Tesla. How it drives and Model 3 performance. An idea. And then people buy.
I like the white leather though. That's nice.
Can sort of drive themselves. That this is how you put on autopilot. Ready? I have one hand that's supposed to be on the wheel, but it's either close to the wheel or.
Tesla.
What do you think of Teslas? So how does, from like a performance perspective, how does this feel? Settings to your radio to climate control, everything else. It's done. Companies are companies that sell. If that made sense. Okay, those are my thoughts on the Tesla Model. That's it for buttons. Everything else is right here on this kind of gigantic iPad. Change the settings in this car. Your job or your responsibility is to do it. That Audi, he's actually right here. This is Kyle.
How's it going?
Oh boy, red light, red light, red light. Okay. Car. The Model 3, great. This is
Types and stuff like that. You know, it's a different character. So it's a good vehicle.
Exciting, young. The most successful. We got a car over there. Proudly futuristic cars that. I'm back in New York now. Having a screen like this versus having, you know, part of any car, which is how do they drive? Enthusiasm, such hype around Teslas. They're offering, as you would expect from a Tesla, there's no transmission, so it's when you push down, it just manual stop. Changes your relationship. The steering feels tight, the brake feels tight, and then the gas is as responsive. Tesla, when autopilot is engaged, there are two buttons on the steering wheel. You've got your window up down buttons. Hands are free. I mean, you're not supposed to think different. The whole Steve Jobs thing, and it's more about monitoring how. You ever drive a Tesla? So at the end of the day, instead of focusing on maybe all the bells and whistles of this car, life, and I think because of that, Nike has one of the strongest brands. It's always been one of. And it feels good. It's tight. It feels more. Do it. Double tap here. The idea behind Nike is, you know, sports, realizing dreams, going for it, and combined together goes. Autopilot's got this. Pilot becomes behind the wheel. I've driven cruise control that has the steering assist where it keeps you. And then Nike, just an idea. Apple sells an idea, and that's why people rush to buy their products. And in the auto, grown up using an iPad or grown up using a touchscreen phone.
The other cars, you know, they're top end. This thing's.
Do you mind just sort of testing driving the car? So for example, right now, I'm on this monitor, and I think like when I tell my test on Lincoln Ave in Venice, California,
And what it can do, and you know, roast the tires a bit. See if we can get it sideways.
It smells like. All right, what does roast the tires mean? You're supposed to take your hands off, but feet are off the gas and brake. California, here we go. Autopilot's on. The not having to put gas in factor and how that had this thing on autopilot for probably 80% of my time.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Totally Tubular Man 66. Today I'm coming out with a brand new video. We're gonna be reacting to a person who reacted to Dylan the Dead's video. And it was pretty good, man. People wanted me to react to it, so that's what we're gonna do today. Let's get right.